Before we begin, I have to close the previous chapter. Oh my god, am I paranoid, Shizo? Well, sometimes, a spike happens. And they caught it, oh my god, because I don't have any friends. And I hated my mom, and they identified me in that particular moment. Who would have thought? Except the system doesn't care about you, so... What was the point again? Yes, that's my personality of the missing parts, where I sometimes talk nonsense, or something people don't understand and treat as nonsense. To them, it's the same thing. And same goes to paranoid, right? I don't really know how you catch that one, by the way. Maybe that special moment when you want to inject me with medication and I'm paranoid and something bad did happen when it did happen eventually. When they just got in full access. I mean, it's pathetic. It's pathetic, but you know what? My personality played a perfect role. Like it's supposed to. And you can understand it. System does not acknowledge things like personality at all. It just fucking looks at the rule book and follows the script. Whatever orders you get is the orders you follow. This is why we'll never catch Epstein, because nobody fucking from the upper elite group people is gonna tell police to actually catch anyone who's a suspect. Unless police works independently. But that's where we are right now. I needed some closing thoughts. Because that's what inspired the last video. Might be also a good reference to this new one. I finally have a Disney Plus subscription and I watched Pirates of Caribbean. A movie that I should have seen a long time ago, right? But I've seen it now. Now I tell you. It's the Black Pearl thingy, where everyone's undead, including the Jack Sparrow. So they're immortal, which is fucking weird. That's a little bit too high of a power level, but whatever. It made for a good story. Why am I telling you this? This is another inspiration for this video. It worked so well when I just plug in those 4 dots and I tell a story. And this story is gonna be about going deeper into deeper waters, right? And how it feels like, how the energy shifts, how the whole thing evolves around us, and how I stepped my foot into deeper waters with, you know, ever-evolving effort, at least to deceive myself, because we're talking about esteem. I was threading at Steam, because, I don't know. That's where my trauma got me. Trauma does not actually evolve you upwards. It evolves your brain. And if your brain is evolving, you are connected to a much greater potential, much greater concepts in life. Because that's what you would use to protect yourself, first of all, to analyze the situation. And most importantly, fight the corruption, the thing that destroys our lives. Right? We don't question certain things. And that's what gets us in trouble. When we start fighting corruption, we are able to dodge traumatic experiences because, again, everyone is kind of dragged by the wind. Everyone's dragged by the people above them who make up the fucking rules. And you have to be able to resist that. Especially when it's corrupted. This is the journey, my friends. The reason why this is inspiring is because we have a whole pirate theme where you're surrounded by a lot of water. We're going to dig into deep waters when we face God himself. Right? Oh, God got featured in the video. Look at that. Yeah, the previous video was like a deeply personal thing where I lost 1 year, but it was kind of exchanged into like a hidden benefit that I don't know what it means. It's kind of like a hidden warfare where I have someone I can trust to just tone it down because they're getting paid. I'm not bothering them. They don't bother me. Right? It's there's a mutual respect. We respect each other because we're getting paid. That's right. I mean, the irony is that a lot of pirates died in the movie that I did not pirate. Unlike my anxious friends, they pirate things. But that's how the world gets better and better, just over time. Gives you different opportunities to access old builds. I mean, you can look at this as old movie, but people put so much effort that this will never happen again. And in a way, it's fucking timeless, right? Just like Bible. I don't know, people call this timeless in a way, in the way they treat it. And then you question, like, how many fucking timeless things have we stacked? Because humanity is technically a stack of timeless things. And first of all, the end game is going to be about the body. I have to... Because all the possibilities are there. Your relationship to the God comes through body. And all the surrounding possibilities of how God can communicate. Right? God is there. God is the best human who knows way too many things. Probably have seen my channel already. Right? And maybe may know how to treat my channel in a different way than anyone else. Knows what to click on, how much to watch, and so on. You can't conjure up a god. You can only know that he's there. And even then, that's a lot of effort to hold a belief like this. Anyways, let's go. We're gonna dig deeper, right, into the 1433, the timeline of humanity, of the way it works right now, and things gonna get spicy in this timeline, which I have to extend. And most importantly, this is always an experiment. This is always an improvised act. I don't know what I'm gonna get, but I'm not gonna do it twice. I will only mention it as an achievement. This is, in fact, a whole journey happening in real time. And most importantly, like, none of my stuff is scripted. This shit happens very often. But in this particular instance, we could get something cool. Even though we can identify what these paths mean, because we call them paths by now. We don't have the full movie about it. Right? The full vibe. So the second one is the business. And I feel like the business should be represented with a fucking skyscraper. Alright. I don't know how a skyscraper should be represented. So I'll just do whatever. Maybe like this. Big business, big building. Because it has to be symbolic at the same time. Then we enter the cold politics. And maybe it's represented by a mountain. But a mountain is not there as a skyscraper. The mountain is kind of isolation from all the noise. The mountain is peace, right? So we have like a peace sign in the mountain, which works pretty well. Alright. The Peace Mountain. And then there's the world of possibilities. To have a halo on your head means that you can evolve as a human being into something slightly different. Can you get wings on your back? That's what people wanted for a very long time. Will we get wings? I don't know. All I personally want is to not suffer in my mouth where the teeth are. That would be very useful. Maybe I can evolve that way, yes. We're going to talk about human evolution. This is where it happens. It doesn't happen anywhere else. Because people are busy doing stupid shit. They forget that human evolution exists still with us. You know? And that's part of socialism, boys. But we're talking about godlike socialism, where your problems evolve out of your way, are destroyed through evolution itself, through the highest level possibility of a human being, right? Highest level potential. This is where we're traveling, guys. I mean, at this point, the idea of immortality doesn't sound half-baked, because possibilities are endless, and when you are in the middle of these waters, you're looking for the nearest island of what is the biggest change you can make that's the most impactful. What is an island you can take over that fundamentally changes the amount of influence you can have? Because the waters, the possibilities are endless, but you don't want most of the possibilities. So anyways, this is what the ending of the movie is about. Alright? Not to mention, this is a part of Am I Jesus series. And this one is actually self-improvement as well, I imagine. Or at least I want to connect with God a little bit better, because I can. I can do that, right? Am I Jesus? Well, like, now I'm here and I have to do as much work as possible. So I'm going to pull out my whip and put down all the experience that I have in order to truly understand what I'm standing in. Because this is a whole next level of just being a human. This place is careful what you ask for. Careful what you put in your body. And when I say careful, you probably have to be extremely careful. Because it's literally the only thing that matters. You're no longer just a consumer consuming whatever the fuck is in front of you. Every piece of food and every threat matters, because like you want to put on muscle, you want to have esteem. How you're going to present yourself to other people matters. Like everything fucking matters. You want to perfect that shit to the max. So now you're working on your body, not looks maxing, okay? You are esteem maxing. So maximum amount of God can flow through your body, right? That's the crazy shit. No one talks about it, guys. Nobody talks about human evolution that everyone is capable of. Except they do talk about it, but they talk about it in the most degenerate fucking ways, right? They don't talk about it like as a connection to God. They talk about it as borderline self-improvement, putting on muscle for no fucking reason. Athleticism, dropping weight, like very basic, sort of evidential, factual ways. It has nothing to do with God, but it's like, have you forgot human evolution, though? This is the most important factor. Of your body can still change. If science told you otherwise, you're fucking insane. You're fucking insane. And brainwashed. And left for dead, because without human evolution, you cannot solve problems properly. What are you talking about? In fact, the human evolution is going to trickle down everywhere. Everyone's going to realize how important it is one last time. But the God himself will no longer need it. And this period is known as 2111. Alright, everyone wants to do evolution now. Now that it fucking matters. But the God himself is just gonna talk to people and help them out. Right? And double check on them. And make friends with people who are successful at evolving. Like all that shit, right? God will no longer need evolution. Then human will be human. But everyone will have to evolve to catch up to what it means to be human. Anyways, this is where we start. Right? And my entire life story has to pile experience until we level up and something happens. But this time I will, as I move into the past and I tell my entire life story, I will try to exaggerate as much as possible, try to make it cinematic. One thing that just accidentally started making more sense, right, is that politics is not about war. Alright? It's about peace. I mean, is that not obvious? It's probably not obvious by the way we behave. If we want to win politics, we gotta think about peace. Because we're thinking about morality, right? The structure of morality. We're trying to structure it in a way that achieves peace. And obviously we have to reflect the dumbness, basically, that people have when they attack the other side. The side that they're not familiar with, that aggravates them somehow. And it's like, I don't know you either, but not because you're on the other side, but because you don't understand politics. And the point of politics is to, you know, first of all, you have freedom to pick a side, but that does not allow you to have freedom to destroy the other side. And you can just switch. You will be more destructive from the inside out. Okay? Just switch. If you want to destroy a side, switch to that other side, and then you'll be effective at destroying it. Because you will analyze what it is, and you will achieve the most peace possible by being on the other side. You will, negate what the urge is to destroy the other side. So you almost have to do the opposite. You have to, walk to the top of the mountain through lies. You gotta snake your way in. Because in the end, all that matters is peace. If you are achieving peace, all methods are allowed. As long as you're not doing the war. If you're doing war, you're going the whole another way. You kind of amplifying the gravity. I don't know what kind of strategy would amplify the difficulty and the gravity of the situation. I don't think war is ever a good solution to politics and should always be condemned. War, drama, all this nasty shit. especially if a person doesn't reveal their secrets. But like even then, that's what the snake is about. You have to snake your way in. You cannot just drama your way in. That's just not gonna work. See, politics actually does have a lot of rules in place, and war is not allowed. Drama is simply not allowed. It's simply just not an effective strategy. Everything falls apart. Everything that you see right now, Americans and Russians engage in is, and Israelis. The fuck is that? They're players. All this shit is bad. Will not work. In the end of the day, is that Eiffel Tower too? Is that how we designed peace sign? Business is a way to earn money. So much money that a lot of problems can be solved. You can build buildings. You can establish. Even your reputation can be established. You can become an influencer as long as you're sitting on top of some business. Right? Because the amount of people that can be on top is limited. And we can assume they don't want to share their space with no outsiders. There's always an inner circle of people. And people tend to manifest that of like, if I want to trust a product, I have to trust the CEO of that company. But they manifest it in a different way where Mr. Beast has to put his face on a thumbnail every single time. There's no way he cannot do that, because the video will lose its like inner circle vibes. So on the very top you have the beast. The person who is in charge of the entire operation, the entire business, who benefits the most. And is basically the face of all the sponsorships too, right? Who has to be the one to smile and say this product is a good product. Otherwise, no one will believe, right? It's so weird, but that's what it is. And then, welcome to the world of green money. How about we call it the so much. The world of so much. This is the actual interpretation of capitalism through society. The so much. The dollar. The dollar wins because it's an S. That's the only reason why it wins. There's no other reason I see. And I have a feeling you cannot name dollar by its actual name, which is solar. Right? Solar. But solar, right? Like that thing that generates free money for everyone, technically. Also, well, everyone is a subject to the sun, and everyone's subject to money. That's right. And guess what else solar does? Oil! It's all about oil as well. Oh, boy. So yeah, money is tied to oil. Soil. Yeah, landlords. Like, everything just stems from solar and so. And then it collapses to just one letter S. I mean, by the time you, like, with 3 links or whatever, soil, we reach landlords, we have ended our destination. We have reached the final destination where we actually can go outside and see how people live lives, like what kind of houses they have. Right? Have you seen it? Beautiful house. Yep. Have I been inside a beautiful house? Probably not. You can only see shit like that in the movies. But, you know, I've been around. places. I had my own house. I've seen the transformation of neighboring house, where it became beautiful eventually. I've been inside that house too. Before it became beautiful, I've been in other people's house. Like, yeah, all of a sudden when we're talking about a house, there's a lot of memories of being in other people's places. And this is what I like to tap in. As a child, I would do that, but as an incel, well, I do stick now with just one place because that place happens to have internet. That place happens to have access to all the other intellectual places. And intellectual is more affordable than having relationships, and I mean, we just don't have it, you know? While we have internet, we don't have relationships. It sounds like a trade-off, but at least I have a more wholesome access to all the possibilities. I haven't gotten internet until I was like 6th grade or something. And I was nagged to get a computer. It was a whole process to even discover a place that sells computers, by the way. Because that place never went away. It's the same two people working there, basically. We're kind of growing up together. So instead of just beautiful PC, I mean, beautiful house, look how beautiful my PC is. Did I had a beautiful PC? I think I did. I think it was kind of cool, actually. It was like red PC. It looked so cool on the outside. Right now, you can just see through insides of the PC, but for me, I didn't want it to know what's inside. I was not a PC builder. That's not how I see beauty, basically. Everyone sees the same fucking thing. They just want the fucking transparent. And you can't even get a non-transparent PC anymore. They look like a fucking shitty box now. So it might actually take a long-ass time for me to even find a good-looking PC, but it kind of looked like this, actually. Maybe a little bit less on the sides, but I'm looking for, like, the front that has, like, something showing, right? Temperature? Sure. You have all the disk spaces, because we used to insert disks. Back in the day, I got a disc as a present one time, and it was actually a very cool game. I will show you guys. The Border Zone. Now, it's such an old game that you probably will never be able to play it, but it's so cool. I liked it, man. I liked that. I went just far enough to where, like, wow, I'm in a city. Like, this place was cool. Somehow I got hooked, man. And it was just hard enough to where, like, damn, I gotta be careful. Just, it looks so nice. This was, around Oblivion, around it, I guess. Maybe just before Oblivion. But I definitely played this earlier than Oblivion, so we're gonna use my timeline, unfortunately. Everything looks so cool, man. The controls were a little bit weird. You know, it's an old game, it didn't perfect anything. Also, there were, like, other characters. I guess I had, like, one more with me. It felt so slow that it felt like turn-based stuff. I would definitely try to replay it. But it also has to, like, be remade almost. So it doesn't have any problems. If it's available on Steam, maybe it's worth getting it. $1 let's go. The 1C company, this shit was everywhere back in the day. Epic role-playing game! Now, my actual non-nostalgic experience, yeah, varied. But shut the fuck up, man. Not so nostalgic because I was grinding through it and there wasn't like anything interesting happening there. With Border Zone, I just felt so different. Especially like when you see all these like scenes, all these places you're exploring, and it's like, damn, bro. That felt something. That felt like something I've never received from any game ever again, by the way. And then, I know the main dungeon siege is a grind. I happened to play the modded version, which is Legends of Hyperborea, and that was like fucking... That's a whole different game. That's like the Enderal of Skyrim. If you played this first, you would probably think that Skyrim is so much cooler than it actually is. This was close at giving me interesting vibes. And I was able to, like, complete it. Yeah, there was some annoying NPC that you would have to deal with. So it was very weird of, like, I wasn't playing the actual Dungeon Siege, I was playing a mod. Someone has envisioned the game differently, and it was just way better than the original. I basically started witnessing things that are better than original. And that's when you get a big clue. Also, I will add the idea that I dealt with my neighbors. They had a dog. There were like 3 people in there. 3 children that would play alongside me, but then we split apart and I found different friends to play outside with, right? Somehow my neighbors were not into it, in a way. And they're still there to this day. It's actually very difficult to leave my town. But we'll talk about it later. You know, how people just get stuck and... But they pretend to be traveling around. I mean, okay. So that's the life of a consumer, you know? The gamer life. That's the shit that matters. And I'll just keep this. I probably will buy it. For $50 now? I need it. Adito tu carito. Al carito, boys. Let's go. So basically, those are the special moments when you buy something that you really like. Those are the special moments. And you sort of have to, you know, like really scrutinize the things that you care about. And how much you want to spend, because you shouldn't get unhinged and get yourself drained into this pathway, right? All it takes to get traumatized is that money runs out. You cannot buy everything. If you start trying to buy everything, you will get sucked into slavery or worse, into evil. All of a sudden, there is no soul. Because your word does not start with soul. It starts with soul. Slut. You gotta be slick. You gotta slap people. To lap people. Right? And, I mean, don't slap at them. Laughter? Laughter? Like, your words start... with sla. Slow. You are slow. You're slow to understand anyone who is not aligned with get the most money as possible in life. You will be slow. So instead, this is like the downwards thinking or the upwards thinking. The so is the baseline thinking, but there's the additional commitment type of thinking. Commitment to money is SL, apparently. What? You don't know what slaughter means? Now you do. S, laughter. You laugh at all the pigs that exist because they're just food. And if vegans show up, you will not understand them. That's too much politics. Yeah, so we were supposed to talk about like nostalgia, nostalgic foods, nostalgic things that you did with your friends that you don't have friends anymore, nostalgic gaming consoles that you owned, right? Whether you were skating, rollerblading, traveling to different places, what your nostalgic school experiences, and have you pursued a girl in school? That's right. I mean, school is so cool. There's just an H in there. But is it shit? We don't actually want this, do we? Because it's not only like shit, it's shame. It's a lot of bad things. So if you were not able to turn school into so cool, you, I guess, will be left with shitty memories instead. This is going to be a trap because this is something you have to graduate with, right? This is your graduation timeline, basically, of how you treated school. One of the greatest school memories is that I was basically singing to the audience. You know, I'm like, I claw my way up there. I have the talent to sing. People noticed in the class that I do have the talent. And it would, everything surrounding that was pretty big deal, right? And again, you need the school experience to ground history. To be able to remember things better, right? The next grounding is going to be through work that you have done. Through something that you stacked, right? The stack will be your ability to make history for the rest of your life, technically. But it's going to have to be slightly different each time. The school was just like a placeholder. Also, it had all the letters, didn't it? School. What's two missing? Wow. That's how you remember it. To be the placeholder. Alright, shit is happening around me. There's noise. And people are careless with the noise. They're willingly, like they just miscalculating how much impact they're making with the fucking noise to everyone else. Especially all these NPCs. We haven't finished the story yet. They're still probably the greatest hits ever, right? One thing is when you're crushing on a girl, she has a whole friend base that tries to mitigate the damage. But I also wrote a book pretty much vomiting my feelings, and it became spread out across the school, right? I didn't know anything about this. No one approached me, but just like, you know, people are watching my videos, often not commenting at all, they still knew about it. And all I had to do is just keep high esteem of like, well, I did the thing. I don't know why people wanted to be silent or slent about it, but that's what they do. If you want to commit, be slent, bro. Be slent. I mean, C is also a part of this. Like additional, you know. Because you can be sinful But I mean, I don't know. It's not a big part of it. Sinful and silent. It's indirect way to employ the L. Take an L basically and travel deeper into capitalism. Connect one with capitalism, and when capitalism changes, you might get reset a little bit. You might get downgraded. So I don't know. So far, the story is going pretty well, except, there's noisy people. It took me 40 minutes already. We're not gonna make it. Well, anyways, I'm gonna buy some games and waste my time until the assholes go to sleep. There is like a big graduation process, and then dealing with my friends who are starting to get girlfriends all of a sudden. Right after I write the book, like, there's a whole graduation process, right? And then not getting to college or university because technical difficulties. To me, it was just too complicated. The logistics were too complicated. And I miss the opportunity just by not signing up for it. So it kind of just finalizes the whole thing. Quite nice. With the ability to extend your school life into it's a dark way. People who are not smart in the first place for regular schools, they go to this kind of work school, preparing for work. Still pretty good, as long as you truly understand the weight of the business, what business means, and you're not just a slave. And again, you can be slave in your workplace, and you can be a slave for all the landlords. This concludes the baseline of capitalism, my friends. That's it. That's all there is to it. Most people cannot be sorry. They just slide right past you. Alright? That's how they behave. This whole thing encompasses, because we kind of built language around capitalism. It definitely matters. So all of a sudden, everyone flees the school like Dragon Balls. They spread out in all sorts of directions. And you're sort of left alone hanging, basically. I got literally caught into a fight with my mom to the point of, like, I'm holding a knife in my hands. Yeah, in self-defense, pretty much. I don't know any of these concepts, but now I have to deal with police, right? I also have to deal with my grandma that comes back, and my mom loses a job. All these concepts just keep on piling, basically. I'm like, how are we gonna live from this point forward? This is gonna be complicated. But we never fell apart. That's great. We never fell apart. And Granny dies in the very end. That's right, that's the ending of the, the business era. No more Granny, no more business, guys. We have to think of something else. Just kidding, that's not how it ends. I had to escape a burning situationship with UK. Right, UK was the place. So all of a sudden, I actually travel. It's a significant change in my life. Because I relocate myself. I'm not a fucking tourist, I relocate myself. I take it very seriously. All the possibilities. The world just feels very different in UK. And I hold very different jobs. Every single year, it seems to change. But I finally get to demystify what work is about. Yes, I basically flee from UK's in seeking of peace. And that's very interesting timeline, I would say, because then we're gonna get to the noisy neighbors. We're gonna go through the whole being in the hospital year and how that came to be. You know, everything just evolved very quickly, even though I was seeking peace. The world didn't stop spinning, guys. It did not stop. Shit just kept happening. You know, it's so weird because it's as if like there's just enough trauma for you to just keep leveling up in that direction, to go into deeper waters. And as we're talking, we just broke a few, you know, steps into the godlike storyline, in a way. Which is, first of all, the awareness that godlike waters exist. And now I explained more deeply what they are. And eventually I just declared that, yes, I am godlike now. Deal with it. Does being godlike means that you are technically Jesus? I don't know. Yeah, honestly, not only are we gonna finish this, but it's gonna feel smooth, bro, like a baby's cheeks. And yes, this is where babies come from. Babies come from factories, alright? Yes, you are the breeder inside a factory of baby making, but it comes from the deeper meaning of culture, alright? So, and the most important culture is the work culture. Look at that. For some reason known as a toilet. What? What the fuck does that mean? Water closet. Alright. We know it as work culture. What the hell? Toilet? This? Or do you mean like... Sorry guys, I bought a game. And I'm searching for a pizza. We'll kind of have to just like speedrun the rest. I don't think I have enough time. When I came back home, there were politics, bro. People are taking over my fucking house at this point. Because, like, what are these weird relationships my mom has that I have to cut off real quick? And then I got even deeper into darkness, where, you know, I get sick into the hospital thing. But it gets even deeper when the last relationship trips me even for an entire 13 months, 1 year plus. And that deep trouble is gonna linger, you know? Not only is it gonna linger, but it's gonna, like, challenge me in some radical ways. At the same time, while I'm seeking for peace, I am now uploading videos. And should I add experiencing apocalypse on the list? I mean, this is quite a political thing, actually. Obama didn't make me care about politics as much as Trump did, essentially. And then you have to experience this whole division, YouTube diving in deeper into politics. Then the additional thing of, like, a lot of noise happens from my neighbors that I have to fight. And it has multitude of layers to it, because different neighbors mean different things, right? And it just unlocks another layer of things I have to manage all of a sudden, even though I kind of have nothing to do with it, or I have no ability to make it easy. On the other hand, I pretty much finished the friend cycle, so I lose all my friends. I lose all women that I can just talk to directly. I don't shitpost on TikTok. I make boring posts like these and nobody wants to watch them. Kind of making me miserable on the YouTube platform on TikTok. Miserable. It's like, what? Are we not socializing over these, like, interesting things? What, are we fucking playing games? And at the same time, I'm trying to dominate, like, at least Hearthstone. And I'm laughing at, like, Hytale. But then I fucking unlock new potential that already smells like a godlike ability. Also, I'm trying to chase for YouTube Rewind and establish myself on YouTube a bit more seriously, but it's just not exactly dragging me into deeper waters just yet. And the most important awakening process in UK is discovering celebrities in a way that it matters to care for them and root for them. But okay, let's get a little bit nostalgic. Surely we're gonna close the gap. This little gap in there. I mean, my friends gave me something when I returned. The greatest present was a fucking job. Right? It's almost like, wow, that's what a friend really is supposed to do. Someone actually solidified and gave me hope, but I don't know. They were still siding with the other group of people. Oh, and there was this whole shebang with my classmates where I ended up, you know, returning one of my classmates to the friends list for the sake of like Eurovision and stuff. But the shebang was pretty big. As if now I have to feel guilty of ruining classmates reunion, which is like, sounds like politics to me at this point. Who is morally correct in this situation? I have to fucking be prepared to answer that. So all of a sudden I have to do this like cold courage management. I have to confront my neighbors. I have to confront people that bother me, that are connected to my mom in some stupid way. I have to confront the system that doesn't fucking acknowledge what I'm going through, doesn't actually know how to befriend me. I have to do something with my life, so I just pour in a lot of care into YouTube and try to stack my like morality and use my observation skills to like unlock, like to untangle drama. Something that people are not actually trying to do. They're just fucking yapping on like what happened. I'm not here to gossip. I'm here to try and help, right? But all of these efforts were kind of fucking pointless and essentially traumatic because it doesn't feel like it went very well, which is like, what's missing? It's always traumatic when just something is missing. Something is not wholesome as it's supposed to be. We will be evolving as human beings fundamentally, and I mean, I've already like set the bar with max stats episodes. Now they're lilac episodes, and this one is not even none of those things. Is am I Jesus? Can I handle the pressure? And I'm telling you guys, like, all of this stuff is stacked to remind me that I can handle the pressure because everything is aligned in a different, like, mindset. That is a worldwide mindset. Okay? Cold courage. Moral courage. Courage to be on YouTube while no one else is bothering themselves to upload anything. To have thoughts about anything. Disney Plus subscription, right? Welcome to Disney. But that's what UK experience was supposed to be, right? I will work my way up. Everything is going to be fine. But nope. It's not how it works. One time my phone breaks up and I get 3 strikes, I'm out. The other time my hygiene is poor. And it just keeps going like that, where I'm tossed around from job to job, and I get to see quite a... I would like to restart. Can I get a restart? Because this is tough. Alright. When did it start? Like, after I finish school, we go to UK. There was an episode after school a little bit. There's obviously shit happening with my friend who has a girlfriend who I liked at my school. And I got to finally meet, but I'm like, okay, you guys have it, but you have to like each other, you know? Because I'm taking account of that. Like, if you don't like each other, maybe we like each other. But it became such a dirty nonsense, and again, it's this additional thing happening after school. So I was kind of I didn't know what my future was supposed to look like. And so my father just found his way in and took me basically for 4 years. I was doing a whole new thing. And again, I've said like my grandma died at the same time, so it was quite an event to just peel myself off from home and try something new. And again, we enter the business world now, where I was stuck in one place. I actually traveled, and I got to see something different. There was like my first job, my first night shift. There was a moment where I was starting to get comfortable, and everything just kind of fell apart by accident. So I had to scramble to find something else. Also, my dad destroyed my laptop, and I separate from my dad because, well, he's unstable. It's fucking weird. And there was just the old man that was like so much nicer, so much more capable. It's amazing. That guy was a lifesaver. That guy was the fucking dad replacement for that time being, basically. So while my grandma was dead, I found a grandfather for myself. Look at that. Never had one, so I guess that one counts quite a bit. Also from my country, because that's the connection my dad had. So there's a lot of people from my country going to UK to work. All good. Except for me, this was like sideways. This was a whole path unlocked because I personally just wanted to do programming, right? My dad destroying my laptop was actually an attack on me doing programming, but then I was buying a new laptop. I bought myself, or I got myself into a very cozy place where I was the king, basically. So it was a whole episode of my life where I moved into a place just for me. It was such a me place, so isolated. Not only nobody was bothering me, but I had like a backyard for myself, and it's just, damn. You don't get shit like that every day, okay? And it was relatively cheap, right? How does that come on top of all the things? Like, it had a lot of space, it was relatively cheap, it was fucking insane. I would be able to, like, drag a girl into my lifestyle and be completely full of myself. I was almost able to drag, another roommate, but like my dad was like spinning web around that, so I can sell a portion of. It's so weird though, because I don't want to do dirty business, right? It's fucking weird. That was like more towards the ending of like what kind of dirty ways I can make money instead of paying rent. I'll let someone else pay the rent and get just a portion of my room. Okay, portion of my apartment. It has like 2 rooms, kitchen. Basically, I mean, it's even bigger than my current apartment with my mom, so it's fucking weird. I was living like a king at that point. Thought nothing bad could happen, but, you lose jobs. And because I was the one responsible, I was losing my fucking shit. I was losing my mind over this. At some point, I didn't know what to do, and I even went through an episode where someone else found me. You know, not only I jump into someone's car and be like, "Let me tell you a story," but I don't know how to tell stories. So I got gotten, bro. I don't know how to tell stories very well at that point in life. And then a homeless woman approaches me and just kind of drags me through a lot of places, even though it doesn't mean much to me, right? And I'm not fucking homeless in that moment, but it was so nice, right? So there was like this weird moment where I just tossed myself. Yeah, that place grew on me, but not in terms of like talking to people, not interacting with people, but also kind of like because of all the pressure I was having to do with all by myself, it messed me up as well. Not only the place grew on me, but it also became haunted. Again, I'm speedrunning and I'm still too slow. You know, I had to face suicidal ideology of like, well, I don't have a job, and it's getting harder and harder. Like, what do I do? It's the last moment, so I just kind of bailed eventually, back home, with a zero in my, collection. I could have. There was a moment in my life I probably had like 3K in my bank account. I could have just bailed back and been much better off. You go to a place where you can get money, you drag that money to a place where you can keep the money. That's just how it goes. When in the world of rent. Otherwise, it's better to just like keep upgrading your lifestyle based on the skills that you have, but none of that fucking matters. You know, the only place where I survived for 2 years was in fact a stinky place. It was so stinky it stank up the entire town, basically. It was potato factory, right? It was making chips, potato chips. The way they say in UK, the chips are the fucking potato sticks, French fries. They call it chips. Fuck yeah, I guess. But they stink so bad. Dealing with potatoes stinks ass. It has the greasy smell. It has the like, but it's like a stinky, greasy, oily insanity, bro. And it's definitely bad for your health when you are in that environment. 12-hour shifts, like night shifts sometimes. It gets so disgusting. And you have to even switch between day shift and night shift, like almost in an instant sometimes. And yeah, my body had to endure some crazy stuff because of that. I was starting to like buy my own laptop and make a discovery about raycast rendering. I built Generation 1 raycast renderer. I also started shit posting on YouTube. I didn't take YouTube seriously yet, like I am right now, but I was looking around. Part of me losing my mind is that YouTube played a more like deeper spiritual role, so it kind of messed me up when PewDiePie was fighting T-Series. It became a big thing for just my mental state. At some point, I thought I would become a babysitter. You know, I was like dreaming about that shit. Just like, let me enter other people's homes. I'm a nice person. Let's take care of their children. How many people would actually care to have me as a babysitter? Probably fucking zero. But I think I think it's sexist. You know, I think it's sexist. I think both men and women can take care of children and should be able to. You can leave like babies to women because it's fucking ugly, right? It's a messy situation, but like children, like you can see how PewDiePie handles his child. Like, come on, man. I mean, babysitting literally this like missing father figure most of the time in most children's lives. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Men should be doing this job. Yeah, I understand it's easy, so women like the easy jobs, but men should not be disqualified by default. Especially like if men are looking for a job, babysitting is a good place to get to know the neighborhoods, technically, right? And do some fucking extra chores around the house. But instead, men are delivery drivers. I had to deal with that. For the first time, I was like ordering delivery food, which means you have to deal with actual people. You know, you have to talk to actual foreigners as well who like make foreign food. It was so interesting. That was so interesting, dude. And it's like I worked my way to get to do this. I was able to afford a delivery food. It was so interesting, dude. And I was scouting like how can I make it turn it into a deal, and the food was so fucking good. I was able to afford a PC, a laptop, just access to good technology. Pretty easy access to internet as well, right? No, internet fucking sucked. I had to deal with like mobile internet. I also eventually encountered rats, and that shit was not very nice. Okay, when the rat is running around your home and you just can't catch the goddamn rat. I guess every single episode has to have a rat in it. But where is rat in this one? What, watching Tom and Jerry? I think it's super appropriate though. There was a moment where I got shook when I talked to a person just kind of owning a business, owning a little shop, and saying it's like, well, if you know anything about computers, you should fucking offer services, right? Let me just advertise that for you. It's like, whoa, that's interesting. It's just, he dragged me into that conversation, a smart man. And he's a foreigner. I give credit to UK for like managing diversity. I wouldn't overdo it, but it was working to some extent. So 2 more to go. What is it that my memory can conjure up that was business level experience? Because again, this whole time while I was in the UK, I had a lot of money. That I earned it. It was fair. I mean, I traveled across UK a little bit because I was going into a game jam. I even got to meet my friend. I get to go to Scotland in a way. And obviously, anytime I travel, any fucking time I travel, which makes me so paranoid right now, anytime something bad happens, I miss my fucking train, that happened. I forget a charger. That happened last game jam. It's just something bad has to, or I can't even find the place. And I just get lost every single time. It just constantly happens. Yeah, not only I couldn't find my place, but I had to like navigate out of the game jam somehow, like not knowing where the fuck am I supposed to go all the way back, and I was able to do that, and it was so fucking hard. Uh, Man, traveling is just not for me, guys. How the fuck do people do it? Right now, if you have like actually reliable internet, absolutely no worries for you. But back in the day, like it's a fucking nightmare. You have to basically taxi everywhere. and be one of those NPCs that I encounter. The only people that I encounter to talk to is NPCs who ask for directions. I mean, that's funny. That's me right there. I never know where I'm going. Except I would never ask for direction anyways, because I love the challenge, even if I'm going late. God damn. I do love how my life naturally becomes like more complex, and there's this breakthrough moment when something shifts. Right now, I'm not really changing the place I live. It's more I change my objective of what I do and how I look into the future, because the future looks so fucking weird all of a sudden. I'm still missing one piece. I can shift. I can say that the customer service when I came back home, I was doing customer service, so fuck it, right? We can conjure up one of those final moments before I turn godlike. I feel like more and more like vibes matter. And most importantly, I'm just like mature enough to where like everyone around me are stupid. Like you get the wave of haters and everything shifts as well. The ability to just keep your integrity is important. You spend a lot of time wondering like what is the just way to get rid of the haters? Where is the limit? How to draw the lines? Because you realize the internet is quite disrespectful recently. But you have to actually dig to be able to realize that. You have to actually commit and get lucky. And we will kill the polygons. Polygons have no future here. But it means a lot more than that. Okay? Was I able to find peace? Well, peace found me. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Peace was always financial freedom, and then being able to find meaningful things to do with your time so you don't feel like you're wasting your time. And most importantly, cleaning up the environment around you just enough so you feel in control. Going to like apartment meetings and stuff all of a sudden had to be necessary. And I notice I can squeeze another one of these. Anyways, see you guys next time. I gave you another brief synthesis of how I traveled into the waters. Yes, I was losing my mind and God was sort of speaking to me, but this is when I established like proper mentality. Like nothing, I have a solid mind. Nothing can defeat me besides very stressful situations. Or fucking ejecting me back into financial instability. Peace obviously calms everyone down. And I also had to find stability of expressing my thoughts, not just like having thoughts. And it's not outlandish to think that I'm a godlike when Mr. Beast can have billions. I'm the one offending people? No, guys. There's a lot of young people who are rich. Fucking they get millions of dollars for being OnlyFans and hitting 18 in the right way. So, unfortunately, self-improvement is quite a fast pace, but there's so much more to life that it will take a whole long time to truly reach your full potential. One thing I just noticed is like you have school which is enforced. You have to go to school. You don't really have to go to job, but you just feel the need to earn money. And money kind of gives you cool experiences. This is just like freedom. Now you get real freedom to do whatever you want. but you still have to be morally compact, morally strong to withstand the winds, the cold climate. But this could be ascension, basically. Beyond financial freedom, financial fucking superpowers. I don't know what this state is going to give to me, but it definitely has to be more significant than whatever this is. Anyway, see you guys next time. And you should stay tuned and see how I unleash my next level potential. Because it's pretty crazy as it is. You know, I have just enough experience to go to the next level, try a whole new thing. This one, I would say it's like 6 years, maybe 5 years period. What was that? You can't even call it years. By the way, not here. You can't even call it years necessarily. You just have to say formative years. Like, you're not even allowed to get here until you get 18, so like what's even the point? Everyone's on board with this one. It's enforced to a very great degree that 18 is when you get the formative understanding of capitalism. Do you want and make the decision which way do you want to go? Right? Do you want to upgrade your path, or are you just going to follow capitalism because candy in mouth feels good? Again, the way I was approaching, I was going to live my life and earn money on the side. And that's it. All right, whatever my life is going to do, whatever is going to manifest, and usually it's going to be business related stuff, right? That's what I will pursue, not some kind of fucking simple job. Just keep the simple job. No, my life should manifest something good for me. As long as I have just enough free time. But apparently that had to evolve into something else. Anyways, see you guys next time. It devolved. I wanted to be more poetic with this, but I literally just don't have enough time. Which is weird, guys. I give myself an hour. Oh boy.